The Knicks are on fire right now. This is the team we've been waiting to see. To start the season, things were kind of rough, but recently, they've been the team we've expected to see since the summer. They've won 9 of their last 11 games, and it feels like they're only getting better with each matchup. This isn't just a hot streak. This is a team firing on all cylinders. Let's start with their offense, which has been nothing short of electric. They're currently ranked 6th in points per game, and the way they're putting up numbers is as efficient as it is exciting. They're shooting an insane 50% from the field, good for 2nd in the league, and they're also 2nd in 3-point percentage, 40% from deep. Those are the kinds of numbers you usually see from the best teams in the league. And here's the kicker. They're number 1 in free throw percentage at 84%. It's like they don't miss from the line. That kind of consistency in free throw shooting is a game changer, especially in close contests. Honestly, this team is so efficient, they're nearly in the mythical 50-40-90 club as a group. Think about that. A team almost hitting that elite milestone. That's beyond impressive. It's historic territory. Their offense isn't just about individual brilliance either. The Knicks are 8th in assists per game, which tells you how well they're sharing the ball. Everyone's involved, and it's creating incredible rhythm and flow in their offense. Plus, they're 2nd in assist to turnover ratio, which shows how disciplined they are with the ball. They make smart plays, find the open man, and keep mistakes to a minimum. Speaking of mistakes, they're 3rd in the league for fewest turnovers. That's a stat that doesn't always get the spotlight, but it's so important. By protecting the ball, they're making sure opponents don't get easy opportunities in transition. Defensively, they're just as locked in. They're 4th in defensive rebound percentage and 5th in overall rebound percentage, which means they're dominating the glass. A missed shot against the Knicks is almost guaranteed to end up in their hands. They're not just rebounding though, they're using that effort to shut down opponents' second chance points, ranking 3rd best in the league in that category. That's a testament to their hustle and ability to finish defensive possession. And they're not just stopping second chances, they're disrupting offenses everywhere. The Knicks are 5th in contesting 3-pointers, making life tough for anyone trying to shoot from deep. On top of that, they're 4th in opponent shooting percentage in the paint. Their defense inside the arc is airtight, forcing tough, contested looks. And when it comes to defending the mid-range, they're even better. 2nd in the league in opponent mid-range field goal percentage. Teams just can't find an easy scoring option against them. The Knicks are playing some of the most efficient basketball in the league. They're 1st in offensive rating, 2nd in effective field goal percentage, and 2nd in true shooting percentage. These numbers prove they're not just scoring, they're scoring at an elite level while making every possession count. They've built an offense that's not just explosive, but also smart and calculated. Transition defense, they're absolutely crushing it there too. They're 4th in the league in limiting opponent fast break points, so opponents aren't getting any freebies in transition. And they're 9th in opponent points in the paint, showing they're protecting the rim and locking down the interior. It's hard to score anywhere against this team. And let's talk about the little things that make a big difference. They're 6th in the league in charges drawn, which shows their grit and willingness to put their bodies on the line. Plays like that fire up the team and set the tone for how hard they're willing to work. They're also 2nd best in the league at limiting opponent points off turnover, turning defense into offense at every opportunity. This team thrives on making opponents pay for every mistake. When it comes to shooting, they're deadly from all over the court. They're 6th in right corner 3-point percentage and 2nd in above the break 3-point percentage. That means defenses can't sag off or leave shooters open, no matter where they are on the floor. The Knicks will make you pay from everywhere. Every stat paints a picture of a team that's balanced, disciplined, and dangerous. They're excelling in every aspect of the game, and it's clear why they've been so good this season. This isn't just a team that's winning, they're dominating in ways that show how complete they've become. Also, I post deep dives like this every day during the NBA season. I would truly appreciate if you could subscribe. Thank you. But talking about the Knicks, as a team, of course, they've been awesome, but they've also had awesome individual performances. So I want to talk about those too. And all Knicks fans know, we got to start with OG. OG is having a breakout season that's hard to ignore. He's setting career highs across the board, proving he's one of the most impactful two-way players in the league. Right now, he's averaging 17.7 points per game, a career high that ranks him 56th in the NBA. He's also pulling in 5.1 rebounds and dishing out 2 assists per game, showing he's more than just a scorer. And talk about efficiency. He's shooting 49.5% from the field and nearly 40% from 3. What's even more impressive, he's above his career average in every single category. That's not easy to do, especially with the workload he's handling. But the real standout aspect of OG's game this season is his defense. He's making a legitimate case for Defensive Player of the Year and might just be the best defensive wing in the league right now. He's averaging 1.5 steals and 1 block per game, using his length, strength, and instincts to wreak havoc on opponents. Just last night, he etched his name into the Knicks history books by becoming the first Knick since Patrick Ewing to record a game with 25 or more points, 4 or more steals, 2 or more blocks, and a shooting percentage above 55%. That's not just an impressive stat line, that's dominance on both ends of the floor. When the Knicks acquired OG in a trade with the Toronto Raptors last season, there were a lot of questions about how he'd fit in offensively. Critics doubted his ability to create his own shot consistently, even though he'd shown flashes of scoring brilliance. Well, it's safe to say those doubts were put to rest. OG has taken his offensive game to a new level this season, and his shot selection has been a key factor in his success. He's thriving around the rim, shooting an outstanding 70% in the restricted area. That's big man efficiency coming from a wing player. His physicality has been a game changer, helping him finish through contact and dominate in close. OG has also been a dunking machine. He leads all non-big men in dunks this season, which is an incredible feat considering how many athletic wings are in the league right now. His ability to get to the basket and finish with authority adds an extra layer to the Knicks' offense. He's not just settling for jumpers or waiting for opportunities. He's creating them with his aggression and explosiveness. And while the Knicks' offense is still largely powered by stars like Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, OG has carved out a vital role, especially in transition. He's averaging 4.8 transition points per game, constantly getting out on the break and finishing with ease. His athleticism and speed make him a nightmare for opponents when the Knicks push the pace. Whether he's filling the lane for a thunderous dunk or spotting up for a quick three, OG's presence in transition has been a game changer. One of the most impressive things about OG's season is how well-rounded his game has become. He's not just excelling in one area, he's doing it all. He can lock down the other team's best scorer on defense, provide efficient scoring on offense, and contribute in transition. That kind of versatility is rare and invaluable, especially for a Knicks team that's aiming to make a deep playoff run. He's the glue guy who can step up in big moments and consistently deliver. Another thing to note is how seamlessly OG has adapted to his role. He's not trying to do too much or step outside of what the team needs. Instead, he's maximizing his opportunities and thriving within the system. That's a testament to his basketball IQ and work ethic. He knows when to take over and when to play off the team's stars, and that balance has been crucial to the Knicks' success. OG is proving to be an irreplaceable piece for the Knicks. His defense is elite, his scoring is efficient, and his ability to impact the game in so many ways makes him one of the most exciting players to watch this season. It's clear he's taken his game to another level, and the Knicks are reaping the benefits. Watching him dominate on both ends of the floor has been an absolute joy, and it feels like he's just getting started. But after him, we have to look at Cat. Karl-Anthony Towns has been an absolute force for the Knicks this season, and the numbers are straight up wild. Through 21 games, he's putting up 25.2 points per game, grabbing a career-high 13.2 rebounds, and dishing out 3 assists. He's doing it all while shooting a scorching 53.1% from the field and an unbelievable 45% from 3, which is also a career high. And let's not forget his true shooting percentage, a ridiculous 64.8%. That efficiency at his volume is just unreal. Towns is tied for second in the league for most 20 and 10 games this season with 14, trailing only Giannis, who's got 16. That's some elite company right there. It's not just about big nights, though. It's about consistency. And Towns has been bringing it every single game. Historically, what Towns is doing is mind-blowing. Only 4 players in the last 50 years have averaged 25 or more points and 13 or more rebounds over their first 20 games with a new team. Kareem with the Lakers, Charles Barkley with the Suns, Shaquille O'Neal with the Lakers, and now Karl-Anthony Towns with the Knicks. That's a list full of legends, and Towns has earned his spot on it. On the MVP ladder released today, Towns is sitting at number 5, right behind names like Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and SGA. That's a serious acknowledgement of how dominant he's been, and it's not just empty hype. Jeff Teague, one of his former teammates, even said it's time to put Towns firmly in the MVP conversation. Honestly, I couldn't agree more. Towns has also been putting up unique stat lines that no one else in Knicks history can touch. He's already had 4 games this season with at least 20 points, 15 rebounds, 2 3-pointers, and 2 blocks. For some context, every other Knicks player in franchise history combined has only done that 4 times. Let that sink in for a moment. He's also the only Knicks player ever to tally more than 520 points and 270 rebounds through the first 21 games of a season. The last players to hit those marks in the NBA were Giannis in 2019, Joel Embiid in 2018, Kevin Love in 2011, and Shaq in 1999. Towns is putting himself in conversations with some of the best seasons we've ever seen. And it's not just raw production, it's how he's doing it. Towns is one of only 2 players this season averaging at least 12 rebounds, 0.8 steals, and 0.8 blocks. The other, Nikola Jokic. That's it. That's the list. And for 3-point shooting among centers, Towns is ranked 3rd, trailing only Jokic and Nikola Vucevic. Towns hitting 45% from deep as a big man adds a whole new dimension to the Knicks offense. In transition, in the half court, or even on the defensive end, Towns is proving he's the ultimate weapon. He's carrying an enormous load, but he's doing it so efficiently that it barely seems like he's breaking a sweat. His ability to stretch the floor, dominate inside, and protect the rim makes him a nightmare for opponents. Towns' versatility is a massive reason the Knicks are thriving this season. He can post up, knock down threes, and run the floor with ease. Whether he's out-muscling defenders in the paint or sinking triples from beyond the arc, he's showing why he's one of the most skilled big men in the game today. If Towns keeps this pace up, there's no way he doesn't stay in the MVP conversation for the rest of the year. His stats, efficiency, and impact are undeniable, and it feels like he's just getting warmed up. Watching him dominate night after night has been a thrill. The Knicks have something special with Towns, and it's clear he's playing some of the best basketball of his career. After him, though, we have to look at Brunson, because once again, he's having an incredible season. Jalen Brunson has been nothing short of spectacular this season. He's been putting up superstar numbers, averaging 25.1 points, 7.5 assists, and shooting an incredible 49% from the field, 43% from 3, and 85% from the free throw line. Those numbers are elite for any player, let alone a guard who's carrying such a massive load for the Knicks. And his efficiency is off the charts. His assist to turnover ratio, it leads all high usage players at 3.39. That's the kind of production every team dreams of from their point guard. Brunson's takeover ability was on full display the other night against the Hornets. The Knicks started off sluggish, trailing 16-4, but Brunson flipped the game on its head. He outscored the entire Hornets squad, 19-16, for the rest of the first quarter, single-handedly dragging the Knicks back into the game. Performances like that highlight just how dominant he's been when the team needs him most. Let's talk about his scoring versatility. Brunson's ability to create his own shot is incredible. 70.2% of his made field goals this season are unassisted, which ranks him 4th in the NBA. The only players ahead of him, SGA, Tyrese Maxey, and Damian Lillard. That's a group of elite shot creators. Brunson doesn't rely on anyone to set him up. He's carving out opportunities for himself and capitalizing at an elite level. And his ball security, absolutely unreal. Brunson recently notched his 2nd game as a Knick with at least 25 points, 10 assists, and 0 turnovers. That's more than all other players in Knicks franchise history combined. He's setting records while making it look easy. In fact, he also became the first player in Knicks history to have back-to-back games with at least 25 points, 10 assists, and 5 made threes. He's rewriting the record books on a nightly basis. The chemistry between Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns has been special too. They're on pace to become the first guard-center duo to each average over 25 points per game since Kobe and Shaq. Think about that. Kobe and Shaq, Brunson and Towns are putting themselves in the same conversation as one of the most iconic duos in NBA history. It's not just their scoring though, it's how they complement each other and dominate together. Defensively, Brunson's no slouch either. He's tied for 2nd in the NBA this season in charges drawn with 9. That shows his toughness and commitment to making winning plays. It's rare to see a star player so willing to sacrifice his body for the good of the team, but Brunson does it without hesitation. He's setting the tone on both ends of the floor. One thing that's really stood out this season is Brunson's passing. There were doubts about whether he could be a true point guard, but he's proved everyone wrong. His vision and ability to find open teammates have been game-changing for the Knicks. He's orchestrating the offense like a maestro, keeping everyone involved while still finding ways to get his own. Watching him thread passes through traffic or set up shooters on the perimeter has been a treat. And let's not forget his recent recognition. Brunson was just named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. That's a huge accomplishment in a conference packed with talent. It's a testament to how impactful he's been for the Knicks. Not just as a scorer, but as a leader. He's elevated the team to new heights, and his play is a big reason why they've been so competitive this season. Brunson's ability to control the pace of the game is one of his most underrated skills. He knows exactly when to push in transition, when to slow things down, and when to attack. That level of control is rare, and it's a huge reason why the Knicks offense has looked so much better this season. Whether he's hitting clutch shots, drawing charges, or setting up a teammate for an easy bucket, Brunson is doing it all with confidence and poise. And then after him, we can check out the guy who's arguably been the most impressive this season, Josh Hart. Josh Hart has been absolutely phenomenal for the Knicks this season. He's playing with the kind of efficiency and versatility that's hard to believe. Let's start with his shooting. Hart is knocking down jumpers at a smooth clip, which is a big step up from what most defenses expected. Teams are daring him to take shots, but he's making them pay, shooting an impressive 40% from three-point range. But it's his finishing around the rim that's truly elite. He's leading the NBA in field goal percentage within 5 feet at a jaw-dropping 77%. And get this, every other player in the top 5 is a center. Hart is doing this as a 6'4" guard. That's just unreal. Now, when you look at his overall numbers, it's even more impressive. Hart's averaging 13.9 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per game. Only 9 players in the entire NBA are putting up at least 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. That list: Giannis, Nikola Jokic, Paolo Banchero, Jason Tatum, Scotty Barnes, Domantas Sabonis, Jalen Johnson, Alperen Sengun, and Josh Hart. That's an absolutely elite group to be a part of, full of MVPs, All-Star, and some of the best players in the league. For Hart to be in that company speaks volumes about how impactful he's been. Hart isn't just doing a little bit of everything, he's excelling across the board. He ranks in the 96th percentile in true shooting percentage, the 82nd percentile in defensive rebounding percentage, and the 74th percentile in assist percentage. That's dominance on multiple levels. Not many players can score, rebound, and create for others at such a high level. And Hart's making it look easy, and he's always on the court. Hart is averaging 37.1 minutes per game, which is 4th in the entire NBA. The Knicks can feel his impact every single minute he's out there. He doesn't just rack up stats, he affects winning in every way imaginable. His hustle, basketball IQ, and ability to make the right play at the right time are invaluable. Let's break down his shooting efficiency further. Among 171 players who attempt at least 8 shots per game, Hart ranks 6th in field goal percentage. The only players ahead of him? Guys like Jared Allen, Domantas Sabonis, Giannis, all big men who live in the paint. Hart, meanwhile, is a guard competing with traditional bigs in efficiency. That's just wild. When it comes to 2-point percentage, Hart is in a league of his own. He leads the entire NBA among players who attempt at least 4 2-pointers per game. The closest guard to him is nearly 9% behind. And Hart's not just padding stats with layups, he's scoring against elite defenses and finishing through contact with precision. Historically, Hart is doing something special. The record for field goal percentage in a season by a guard is 58%, set by Ben Simmons in the 2020 season. But Simmons is 6'10". After him, the record is held by John Stockton from 1988. Hart is currently on pace to set one of the highest field goal percentages ever for a guard. If he keeps this up, he'll go down as having one of the most efficient shooting seasons by a guard in NBA history. Hart's rebounding is another part of his game that stands out. Among players averaging at least 13 points, only 30 pull down more than 8 rebounds a game, and Hart's doing it at 6'4". His defensive rebounding percentage is in the 82nd percentile, showing how active and effective he is on the boards. He's relentless, constantly crashing the glass and creating extra possessions for the Knicks. And let's not overlook his playmaking. Hart's averaging nearly 6 assists per game and ranks in the 74th percentile in assist percentage. He's not just a scorer or rebounder, he's a facilitator who makes everyone around him better. Whether it's finding cutters, kicking out to open shooters, or orchestrating the offense in transition, Hart's passing has been a huge part of his value. Josh Hart's all-around game is something Knicks fans and the rest of the league can't ignore. His ability to contribute in so many ways, combined with his efficiency and energy, makes him one of the most underrated players in the NBA this season. And then to fill out the starting lineup, we got to talk about Bridges. Bridges has completely turned his season around, and it's been incredible to watch. After a rocky start, he's been one of the Knicks' most impactful players lately, showing everyone why he's so valuable. Let's break it down, because the numbers and performances speak for themselves. On the season, Bridges is averaging 16.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, shooting 47% from the field. But recently, he's taken things to another level. His efficiency is what's been jumping off the page. At the rim, he's finishing 74% of his shots, an elite mark for anyone, let alone a 6'6" wing player. From the short mid-range, he's knocking down 56% of his attempts. That puts him third in the entire league for mid-range shooting this season. He's only behind Jalen Williams and Dennis Schroeder, and he's ahead of big names like Cam Thomas and Devin Booker. That's the definition of a high-level scorer. From three, his performance is a little more nuanced. When he's shooting from the corners, Bridges has been flat-out lethal, hitting 46% of those attempts. That's the kind of accuracy that stretches defenses and opens up the floor for his teammates. However, above the break, things aren't quite as smooth. He's only making 22% from there. It's a glaring weak spot in his game, but his dominance in other areas more than makes up for it. And when he's playing at Madison Square Garden, Bridges levels up even more. At home, he's averaging 20.6 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.4 assists, while shooting 54% from the field and 38% from three. He thrives in front of the MSG crowd, and it's been amazing to see. Let's talk about one of his most impressive performances so far, his game against the Pelicans. Bridges exploded for 31 points, leading the team in scoring while shooting 12 for 19 from the field. From three, he was red hot, draining 7 of his 12 attempts. It was easily his best game as a Knick, showcasing his ability to take over offensively and deliver when his team needs it most. What makes Bridges even more valuable is the impact he has, beyond just scoring. The Knicks starting lineup currently leads the entire NBA in points per game, and Bridges plays a huge role in that, but his influence doesn't stop there. Over the last 2 games, Bridges has posted a jaw-dropping plus-minus of plus 73. That's the highest by any Knick in a 2-game span since the play-by-play era began. The only other Knick to reach plus 70 in that time, Josh Hart, who did it last season. Bridges is joining some elite company, and it's clear his presence on the floor is making a massive difference for the team. His transformation this season is a testament to his work ethic and versatility. Early in the year, he struggled to find his rhythm, but he's flipped the script entirely. Now, he's a player who can score at all 3 levels, defend multiple positions, and consistently make the right plays to help his team win. He's efficient, effective, and reliable, a rare combination in the league. It's also worth mentioning just how well-rounded his game has been. Not many players can contribute across the board like Bridges. He's one of the league's best mid-range shooters, a dangerous finisher at the rim, and a knockdown shooter from the corners. On top of that, his defensive effort and ability to move the ball make him a complete player. Watching him grow into his role with the Knicks has been exciting, and it's clear he's becoming an integral part of their success. Bridges' recent stretch is proof that he's not just a role player. He's someone who can take over games and make a real difference. His resurgence has been a big reason why the Knicks are playing so well, and it feels like he's just getting started. The confidence, the consistency, and the clutch performances have all been there lately, and it's been a joy to watch him thrive. If he keeps playing like this, there's no telling how far he can help take this team. So that's the starting lineup. The Knicks have a pretty solid bench too. There's 4 guys we need to talk about. First, of course, Duce McBride. Duce McBride has been on a serious tear lately, and it's honestly been a blast watching him take his game to the next level. This is his first full season as the Knicks' 6th man, and he's already making his mark as one of the team's most impactful players. There's been a ton of buzz about his performance, and it's well deserved. McBride has truly been growing as both a shooter and a playmaker, and I'm all here for it. McBride is currently putting up 11.2 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game. He's shooting an efficient 46.2% from the field, but the real standout number here is his 3-point shooting. McBride's hitting 43.5% from beyond the arc, which is a pretty sweet percentage. That's one of the best marks for bench players across the league right now. He's been lethal from deep, and it's clear the Knicks are benefiting from that efficiency. But it's not just about his shooting numbers. McBride has been making noise for his all-around impact on the game. He ranks 4th in offensive rating among bench players, which shows just how effective he's been in helping the Knicks score when he's on the floor. His efficiency is through the roof, and it's no surprise that his plus-minus is also reflecting that. McBride has the 5th highest plus-minus among bench players with a plus 98. That means when he's out there, the team is playing some really good basketball and outscoring opponents consistently. Now let's talk about the 6th Man of the Year award. Sure, McBride's been fantastic, but there's some serious competition for that title. Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics is the current favorite, and it's going to be tough for McBride to catch up to him. But here's the thing, team success is a big part of the 6th man award race. If McBride continues to contribute in major ways and helps the Knicks keep winning, there's no reason why he couldn't make a case to be a finalist for the award. It might be a long shot, but it's not impossible. What's even more impressive than his shooting percentage is how McBride has expanded his game this season. Last year, he was mostly known as a catch-and-shoot player, relying on his teammates to create plays for him. This season, though, he's really stepped up his shot creation. McBride has become much more comfortable taking players off the dribble and creating his own shot. Whether it's driving to the basket or pulling up for a jumper, he's showing he can create offense on his own, and that makes him a much more dangerous player. This added versatility makes him a more well-rounded offensive weapon and really elevates his game. Defensively, McBride has continued to show why he's one of the Knicks' most important players. He's always been a pesky defender, but this season, he's been even more locked in. His defensive effort has set the tone for the team, and it's been a huge factor in their success. He's not afraid to get into the opposing player's face and make life tough for them. His ability to lock down players has made him an even more valuable piece on both ends of the floor. McBride's energy and intensity on defense make him a key asset to the Knicks' rotations, and he's really earned his minutes out there. One of the most exciting things about McBride's season is how consistently he's been able to impact the game. Whether he's scoring, facilitating, or defending, he's always doing something positive when he's on the floor. McBride has really embraced his expanded role as the 6th man, and he's proven that he's more than ready for it. With each game, his confidence is growing, and it's clear that he's becoming a bigger and bigger part of the team's success. That's something the Knicks have been needing, someone to step up in that 6th man role and make a real difference. Looking forward, McBride has the potential to keep making a case for 6th man of the year, but he's also playing for something bigger. His growth this season could mean even more opportunities for him down the road, especially if he keeps improving and continues to make an impact on the Knicks. It's tough to top the kind of start that Peyton Pritchard has had, but if McBride keeps it up, there's no reason why he couldn't be in the conversation for the award. Even if he doesn't end up taking home 6th man of the year, McBride's performance this season is still worth celebrating. He's been a key part of the team's rotation, and his contributions are helping the Knicks win games. McBride's growth and development this season have been incredible to watch. His shooting, shot creation, defense, and all-around play have made him one of the most exciting young players on the team. He's playing with confidence, and it's clear that he's starting to make a bigger impact than ever before. As long as McBride continues to play at this level and helps the Knicks win games, he'll only continue to grow and make a real name for himself in the league. But the Knicks also have a vet guard coming off the bench too, and that's Cam Payne. Cam Payne has been absolutely killing it for the Knicks lately. And honestly, he's the type of player every team needs on their roster. As a third-string point guard, Payne is outperforming a lot of starting point guards across the league. It's insane how much value he's bringing with his energy, shooting, and playmaking. This season, he's averaging 8.2 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. And get this, he's shooting an impressive 43.5% from three-point range. That's huge. His shooting numbers are up there with some of the best, and he's playing with the kind of intensity that you just can't ignore. What's even crazier is that he's one of only 4 players in the entire NBA who have a three-point percentage above 42% and a turnover rate under 10% with a minimum of 40 assists. You've got Kyrie Irving, Peyton Pritchard, Duce McBride, and Cam Payne. That's some elite company, and it shows just how efficient Payne's been this season. His turnover rate is sitting at 6.7%, way lower than his career average of 13.3%. That's a huge improvement, and it shows how much he's grown in his role with the team. It's not just about his scoring and shooting, though. Payne has been an energizer on the court, always bringing intensity and playing for the team. That's the type of player every successful team needs to rally around. He brings the perfect mix of hustle, leadership, and high basketball IQ. When he's on the floor, it's hard not to notice the difference in how the Knicks are playing, especially when he's paired with Duce McBride. Speaking of which, When Payne and McBride share the floor together, it's like a match made in basketball heaven. The energy between the two is palpable. The numbers back it up too, with the Knicks outscoring their opponents by 13.3 points in 192 minutes of play together. The two complement each other so well. McBride's defense and shooting ability, mixed with Payne's playmaking and scoring punch, give the Knicks a dynamic duo that's been difficult for opponents to handle. What makes this pairing even more interesting is how both players play with such confidence and without hesitation. Payne can facilitate when needed, but he's also not afraid to take a shot when the opportunity presents itself. His ability to read the floor and make the right play is crucial for the Knicks' success. And let's not forget, his three-point shooting has been a major asset this season. The fact that he's shooting over 44% from three-point land makes him a threat every time he's out there. Payne is proving he's more than just a role player. He's an essential piece of the puzzle. It's crazy to think about how good Payne has been as a third-string point guard. He's playing at a level better than a lot of the starting point guards the Knicks have had over the past 2 decades. Whether he's setting up teammates, draining threes, or providing that leadership on the floor, Payne has been everything the Knicks hoped for and more. His performance this season is arguably the best of his career, even surpassing the solid run he had with the Phoenix Suns back in the 2020 season. It's clear that Payne is on a mission to prove he can contribute in a big way, no matter what role he's given. Payne's relentless pursuit of excellence is the kind of thing that really sets him apart. It's not just about his numbers, although they are impressive. It's about his commitment to playing the game the right way and doing whatever it takes to help his team win. His impact on the Knicks cannot be overstated. Payne has proven that even as a third stringer, he can outplay many starting point guards, and he's showing that his best basketball is still ahead of him. The energy, hustle, and sharp playmaking he brings are exactly what makes him a perfect fit for the Knicks this season. And then lastly, the Knicks have 2 bigs coming off the bench who are extremely important. One missed most of the season so far, and the other has missed the whole season. So let's start with Precious. Precious is back, and let me tell you, the Knicks have to be thrilled. After missing 21 games due to a hamstring injury, Precious made his return to the court with an appreciative ovation from the Garden crowd. He checked in during the second quarter of the game and instantly brought energy. In just 12 minutes, he finished with 2 points and 4 rebounds. Even though he's still working his way back, just having him on the floor makes a huge difference for the team. Last season, Precious really showed what he's made of. He emerged as an essential player in the rotation, quickly earning the trust of the coaching staff. In 49 appearances, including 18 starts, he averaged 7.6 points and 7.2 rebounds in just 24.2 minutes per game. His high motor and physical playing style were key in him becoming one of the most reliable players, especially during a season where injuries piled up. By the time the Knicks were facing off with the Indiana Pacers in the second round of the playoffs, Precious was one of the few healthy bodies left, and he stepped up to start 2 games in that series. Now that he's back from injury, the Knicks don't have to rely on Jericho Sims, who, let's face it, really struggled during his minutes. Precious's return gives the team more depth and a player who can contribute both on offense and defense. With his ability to grab boards and bring that physical presence, the Knicks are looking much stronger with him on the floor. His hustle and nonstop energy bring a level of intensity that can be contagious. When he's on the court, it's clear that he's not just trying to make plays for himself, he's looking to help the whole team succeed. But what makes Precious even more exciting is how well he works with Duce McBride. When these two are out there together, it's like the Knicks have found a secret weapon. Precious E's physicality complements McBride's relentless defense and sharp shooting. Their styles mesh perfectly. Precious can grab rebounds, fight for position, and kick the ball out to McBride, who can hit those big shots. The chemistry between these two is special. They know each other's game so well, and it's fun to watch them feed off each other's energy. When they're on the court, it feels like the Knicks are just a different team, one with a little more edge, a little more grit. Precious's value isn't just in the numbers he puts up, it's in his overall impact on the game. He's that player who might not always be in the spotlight, but he's doing the little things that make a huge difference. His rebounding, hustle, and defensive tenacity are key elements the Knicks need, especially in those tight games when every possession matters. With him back in the lineup, the Knicks now have a more well-rounded team, one that can grind out tough wins and be a major threat on both ends of the floor. And then lastly, the guy everyone is waiting to come back, Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's presence on the court is huge for the Knicks. After undergoing a second surgery on his left ankle in May, He's been rehabbing hard, and although he hasn't been cleared to practice or run yet, there's no doubt that his return will be a game changer. The Knicks expect him back sometime this month, though it could be closer to the new year before he's fully back in action. Last season, Robinson was one of the top interior defenders and rim protectors in the league. His ability to control the paint and block shots makes him an irreplaceable asset. The way he defends in the drop-free safety role is something that can unlock so much potential for the Knicks defense. With Robinson behind them, the entire defense gets a little looser. It takes some of the pressure off the other players, knowing that Mitch will be there to clean up any mistakes. This allows the defense to switch more, be more aggressive, and take more risks, because Robinson can handle the big tasks under the basket. When Robinson returns, the Knicks will look different defensively, that's for sure. They'll be able to do a lot more on that end of the floor. His shot blocking will be huge for their perimeter defense as well. The Knicks have had a pretty solid perimeter defense this season, but there's room for improvement in terms of consistency. Robinson's shot blocking ability will allow them to get even more aggressive on the perimeter. Teams won't be able to exploit them as easily when Mitch is back there to patrol the rim. He's the best offensive rebounder in the entire NBA. His ability to track down misses and create second chance opportunities for the team is something that can swing a game. His tenacity on the glass gives the Knicks extra possessions, and as we've seen, that's a game changer. On offense, he's most effective when he's catching lobs or finishing easy baskets in the paint. Operating from the dunker spot, Robinson can focus on cutting and getting to the rim, which is where he's most dangerous. Now, when Mitch comes back, the Knicks will have some options on how they structure the lineup. A possible starting five could look like this: Jalen Brunson at point guard, Bridges at shooting guard, OG at small forward, Karl-Anthony Towns at power forward, and Mitchell Robinson at center. Josh Hart would likely slide into the sixth-man role, where he can continue to make an impact off the bench. But here's the thing. Karl-Anthony Towns is a huge mismatch at the 5, so it might make more sense to keep him at center and let Mitch play the dunker spot, giving the Knicks the best of both worlds. Mitch's return isn't just about his individual numbers though, it's about how his presence makes everyone around him better. He gives Jalen Brunson, Bridges, and OG more freedom to take risks on defense. And offensively, his screens, rolls to the basket, and offensive rebounds create so many opportunities for the team. He's the glue that holds everything together. His value to the Knicks is off the charts, and it's not hard to see why any team in the league would love to have a healthy Mitchell Robinson. As the Knicks get closer to full health, Robinson's return is going to give them that extra boost they need. They'll have a true rim protector back on the floor, and that's something you can't put a price on. With Robinson back, the defense will be more solid. They'll get more second chance points, and overall, the team will just be more dangerous on both ends of the floor. I can't wait to see how much of a difference he'll make once he's fully back in action. Overall, though, the Knicks are finally heating up. Brunson is playing like the guy we know. Cat is a monster. OG is a borderline all-star. Josh Hart does everything. Bridges is finally picking it up. The bench is heating up. And they aren't even fully healthy. I have a feeling this is just the start of it. If you enjoyed this, I post every day during the season. I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.